So we started a new sugya, many new sugyas. And Hilchas Pesach, besides Hilchas Shabbos, is the biggest chunk that we have in Shulchan Aruch Chaim. And many sugyas are associated with Chag HaMatzos. But we start at the beginning of the Masechta, Dinei, Bedika, Vebitul. Onar bo'asa boitkin es Chametz. Kosev Rashi, boitkin, shelo yaver olav bebal yeroa vebal yemotza. And Tosfos asks, lechore that's not correct, because a boidek tzorech sheyavatel. That's what we learn in the Vova Midbeis. And once a person was mevatel Chametz, he doesn't have Bal Yeroa and Bal Yemotza. So basically, the reason we need to be boidek cannot be Kedei Shelo Yavar Bal Yeroa and Bal Yemotza, because you can't get away with Bedika. You still need to be mevatel, and that's a Gemara Mefureshes. And once you were mevatel, the Gemara says, Dav Daled Midbeis Midyuraisa Bebitul Ba'alme Sagi. So there must be another reasoning for Bedikas Chametz. Tosfos says, Kedei Shelo Yovoy Lechol. Lo Kedivrei Rashi. Rashi says, Kedei Shelo Yavar B'Bal Yeroa U'Bal Yemotza. So the Ran, coming to Bimiyashiv Shittas Rashi, the Ran says, Min Torah, it's either one, either Bedika or Bittul. Min Torah, Midyuraisa Bebitul Ba'al Mesagi. Once you were mevatel, you no longer have any chashash of Bal Yeroa v'Bal Yemotza. Today we will not discuss how do we define Bittul Chametz. What is Bittul Chametz? Two basically different approaches. Rashi and the Rambam say Bittul is Tashbisu. Tosfos and many other Rishonim say Bittul is Hefker. So according to Rashi and the Rambam, once you are mevatel, it is as if this is not Chametz. According to Tosfos, the Ramban, it is Chametz, but it's not mine. Shelcha I atu roya, avratu roya shel acherim v'shel Hefker. So the Ran explains, Bitul Ba'al Mesagi, but Bedika is also enough. And the Ran says a very yesodistic, a fundamental agdora, Samcho Torah ala chazokos. And once a person did his best, he did everything within his power to see to it that he has no chametz. He checked his house, he checked every mokum shemachnisim by chametz. And he can't go beyond that. And therefore, once he was boidek, kishem she'omru chazal bebitul ba'al mesagi, kach bebedika ba'al mesagi. And even if he does have chametz, he is not over on Bal Yeroa v'Bal Yemotza, because he did whatever is within his power to do. V'Torah samcha ala chazos. So when Rashi writes, Boitkin es Chametz kedei shelo yaver, or maybe Rashi means, if not Bitul, Min Torah Bedikas Chametz would be enough, kedei shelo yaver b'Bal Yeroa u'Bal Yemotza. So after the Ran explains Shittas Rashi, L'cha'ore there is no longer a machlokes between Rashi and Tosfos. Rashi agrees, according to the Ran, but if he needs to do Bittul anyway, so why would he need to do Bedika as well? Kedei shelo yavoy lechol. So when Rashi says Boitkin kedei shelo yavoy b'Bal Yeroa v'Bal Yemotza, that means the original chiyuv of Bedika is kedei shelo yavoy. But in practicality, the reason a person needs to do Bedika is kedei shelo yavoy lechol, because he's going to do Bittul anyway. So the reason he needs to do Bedika is kedei shelo yavoy lechol. But that is definitely not the opinion of Tosfos. Maybe That's correct according to the Ran, but not according to Tosfos, because of Yudo Midbeis, when we learn the sigya of Lifnei HaMoyed, La'achar HaMoyed, the Mishnah Yudo Midbeis of Yudoimer. But can all Yudalet Shachas u'B'Shas HaBiur. Chacham HaMoyim, Loi Bodak all Yudalet, Yivdik B'Yudalet, Loi Bodak Yudalet, Yivdik B'Toich HaMoyed, Loi Bodak B'Toich HaMoyed, Yivdik La'achar HaMoyed. Rashi and Tosfos have two different explanations. What is B'Toich HaMoyed? What is La'achar HaMoyed? Loi Bodak B'Toich HaMoyed, Yivdik La'achar HaMoyed. Kosev Rashi, La'achar HaMoyed, Mesheshuas V'Lamalo Ad Shetecheshach. Tosfos says, no. La'achar HaMoyed means after Pesach. B'Toich HaMoyed means Shivas Yemei HaPesach. If he didn't do it Erev Pesach, he needs to do it throughout Pesach. And if he didn't do it Pesach, he needs to do Bidoidik. La'achar Pesach. Kedei shelo yavor lechol, chomet she'over olav HaPesach. And then Tosfos writes a line, Daf Yudum and Beis at the bottom of the Yored. V'Rashi l'rotza l'farish kein, mepnei she'perish b'mishnah, the boitkim shelo yaver b'bal yeroah b'bal yamotza. Tosfos explains, why does Rashi suggest that doichak, la'achar hamoyed means not la'achar yom tov, la'achar yemei hamoyed, but rather la'achar hamoyed shekovu chazal l'chiyuv ha-bedika, which means la'achar sheshuos, but it still is Erev Pesach. Because according to Rashi, Bedikas Chametz is Shelo Yavor Labor B'Bal Yeruah B'Bal Yamotza, that's not Shaykh L'achar Pesach. L'achar Pesach there is no Bal Yeruah and Bal Yamotza. So Tosfos explains Rashi Yudom et Beis is the Shitosek from Beis Amud Aleph, from the very beginning of the Mishnah. So Tosfos explains and understands Rashi that the practical chiyuv of Bedikas Chametz is mishum shelo yaver b'bal yeroah b'bal yamotza. And Rashi does not mean the Bedika shelifnei habitul im lo shetiknu chachomim shetzorach sheyavatl. And in reality, it would be a great doichak to be mefarish Rashi in the Mishnah aboidik tzorach sheyav bod kedas chametz kedei shelo yaver, and Rashi means if not the Chacham more metaken bitol, Bedika would be Kedei Shelo Yavar. The Ran has a slightly different approach, and that's a big chiddush, and it's not a totally different approach, but some modification and some addition to his basic pshat. So the Ran says, Minator, it's either Bedika or bitol, and then the Ran suggests maybe when the Gemara says, "Davova mitbeis aboidik tzurach sheyevatel," and I think it's a memra of Rav. Is it Rabbi Yehuda b'Shem Rav? Davova mitbeis aboidik tzurach sheyevatel. Rabbi Yehuda Marav. Usually I don't remember names. Rabbi Yehuda Marav aboidik tzurach sheyevatel. That this is a takona that Rav put into place b'yamei Amirom, and it was not there b'zman HaMishnah. So the Ran says, Mena Torah, either or, either Bedika or Bittul. And if you did one of the two, you do not have to do the other. Midrabanan Zorach Sheyevdik. And B'Zman HaMishnah, there was no need to do Bedika and Bittul. So B'Zman HaMishnah, Chachmei HaMishnah preferred Bedika. Mena Torah, it's either Bedika or Bittul. Midrabanan, better Bedika than Bittul. Why? Shelo Yavor lechol. Why better Bedika than Bittul? Because if you only do Bittul, there's a chashash Shem Yavor lechol. If you do Bedika, you solve both problems. You're not over on Bal Yeroah, and there also you eliminate the chashash Shem Yavor lechol. And that is the Mishnah. Boitkim es Chametz. Rashi says, Shelo Yaver b'Bal Yeroah b'Bal Yamotza. That is a Minat Torah. So Rashi doesn't address the question, why is Bedika better than Bittul? Why did they prefer and choose, give precedence to Bedika better than Bittul? Rashi doesn't address that question. But the ikasib of Bedikas Chametz is, Kedei Shelo Yaver b'Bal Yeroah b'Bal Yamotza. And stage number 3 was B'Yamei Rav. And B'Yamei Rav, B'Tchilas Tkufas HaAmiroim, they decided, let's have Bedika and Bittul. למה בוידת צור שיבטל שווים סגלוס כיופה ודעת היאלי? So according to this modified approach of the Ran, more reasonable to understand Rashi Kipshutoi. So both Mahalchim of the Ran are basically in Lumdis they're the same. Menatayra, it's either Bedika or Bittel. And if you did the one, you do not have to do the other. And that is based on a big Chiddush. Somcha Torah al Chazokas. And once you did Bedika, even if you have Chametz, not Oivo. You have no Aveda. Because Somcha Torah al Chazokas. So this is a basic question which does not necessarily have to do with Dina Bedikas Chametz. Would we say the same in other Isurim as well? Bedikas Toiloi? You know, I did my best. I looked for bugs, and I found none. If there are bugs, am I over or am I not over? If we say Somcha Torah ala Chazokas.
How can we not say something? It's
What?
How can one be over? It's minus.
It's not an onus because he could do bittul. In our case, why would we define that as an onus? He could do bittul. So the Ran says, but there is no need to do bittul because Somcha Torah ala Chazokas. If I did my best and I tried my best regarding bugs, you could say you're not an onus because you don't need to eat broccoli. You don't need to eat, you have enough other things to eat. So why would he be defined as an onus? So I don't think Somcha Torah ala Chazokas is a din of onus. I think Somcha Torah ala Chazokas is, so what does the Torah demand? What does the Torah expect? The Torah expects you to do your best. So I don't think that Ran means onus. I mean, that Ran means Somcha Torah ala Chazokas. And if you did your best, you looked for Chametz, and usually people could find Chametz, and you did not find, then you have no Aveda. So would that apply to Lavim? Well, Baliro is also a Lav. Would it be a difference between Lavim that people are over the Kumbasei or the Shelatai? So why? If we accept this concept of Somcha Torah ala Chazokas, would it apply to other areas as well? Which is a very fundamental question, which I will not delve into in a broader way, but it's a big chiddush, the Ran. But the Ran says it must be so, because otherwise, even in a Torah, person would need to do bittul. And when the Gemara says about the Tzor Shevat, that's only because Shem Yim Sigiski Yafa. The Gemara doesn't say it's a Sofik Diuraisa, and that is why you need to do bittul. Maybe you do have Chametz. And others argue against the Ran. Why would it be a suffix? Even if we assume that if you have Chametz, you were over, but you don't have to go beyond that. But the Ran seems to say, even if he has Chametz, he is not over, because Somcha Torah ala Chazokas. One could argue that once you avoid it, we trust and we assume there is no Chametz. But if there is Chametz, he has an Aveda. But the Ran clearly seems to say no. Even if there is Chametz, he has no Aveda. Shaharei Somcha Torah Chazokas. And maybe Somcha Torah Chazokas is just a different way of saying Lo nitna Torah l'malachei hashoris. And it's the same concept. Lo nitna Torah l'malachei hashoris says, Kodesh Baruch Hu only expects what we can do as human beings. So what more could a person do than be boided kol mokum shemachnisum b'chumetz? So we're not infallible. People make mistakes, shgias miyoven. But as he did his best, Somcha Torah Chazokas, and he has no Aveda. So I think Somcha Torah Chazokas is a concept which we need additional study. And the reason I'm not going to speak more about this is twofold. Because I want to summarize the sugya of Bedikas Chametz, Bedika and Bittel, and the other reason is I really don't have much to say about it. And I myself, I think one needs to delve deeper into the sugya, and if you happen to come across Gedol Achronim discussing this issue, I would be very appreciative if you could bring them to my attention. So, we saw one pshat in Rashi, which is the Ran. And the Ran develops his mahalach in two stages. Number one, Minatoira, it's either Bedik or Bittel. Midarabanan, we need both. And maybe Divrei Chachamim came in two different stages. Min HaTorah, either Bedika or Bittul. Chachmei Mishnah or Metaka, Bedika, not Bittul. We should prefer Bedika. Bedika is better than Bittul because Bedika not only solves the Dioraisa, the question of Bal Yeroah, it also eliminates the Chashash Shem Yovelechor. And then Rav was Mechadesh, both Bedika and Bittul. Why is Bedika necessary if he does Bittul? Shem Yovelechor. Why is Bittul necessary if he did Bedika? Shem Yimtzig Liska Yofa Vedata Yalavei. The Ran has Mahalach number 2, and this is not Aleph 2, but 2. And that is, the reason Chachamim necessitated Bedika, and they don't rely on Bittul, Shema lo yevatel belev sholem. Because Bittul is belev shalodom. Shema lo yevatel bitul gamo. So I know a Rav that every year in his Shabbos Godel Drosha, he tells the people, when you're mevatel Chametz, you need to be mevatel belev sholem. And even as a young boy, it was very amusing to me. Well, what is the problem in mevatel belev sholem? I mean, in the times of Chazal, if not Bedika, me'ikar din Torah, you could have tons of chametz in your house, or you could be, a soicher and have loads of chametz and you're mevatel. And that really was a question: is he mevatel belev sholem? He has $100,000 worth of chametz merchandise. And he says, "Labotl v'lehev hefker ka'afra da'ara." Is he really mafker b'leiv sholem? But in our days, when we did Bedika, we have no chumetz, and if we had chumetz, we sold it. And what you sell to a goy, you're not mevatel. So what is a person mevatel? If he has a crumb here and a crumb there, and so what is the pay that you need to be mevatel b'leiv sholem? It's not what the Ran had in mind. The Ran deals with the question, why do we need Bedika if Miduraisa bebitul Baal Mesagya? And the Ran makes a very reasonable argument. You have to be a real good Jew and a real tzaddik to be mevatel chametz that's worth a lot of money and be mafkir. And hefker means if anybody's going to come along with a truck and empty out your store or empty out your warehouse, then you're not going to object because you were mafkir this chametz. So there really was a question whether a person is mafkir b'leiv sholem, and that is why Chazal preferred Bedika. So we have two different perushim to be miyashiv shittas Rashi. Mahalach number 3 is the Bartanura Rabbeinu Ovadia Toises Yom Tov and Rabbeinu Yonis in Meloniru, which was before the Bartanura and definitely a few hundred years before the Toises Yom Tov. And Rabbeinu Ovadia says, and it's already a Rabbeinu Yonis, if a person would only rely on the Bitul and not on the Bedika, he might regret. Which is similar to the Ram. But the Ram says he might, in the first place, not be mevatel b'leiv sholem, but the Rabbeinu Ovadia said he might regret. If he regrets, could a person be mevatel bitul? Some understood that the bittul is botel mafreya. I think the earliest Dvar Torah that we have from the Kloisenberg Rebbe, my Rebbe, I think the very earliest Dvar Torah that we have is in Shalas HaTshuvas Atzei Chaim. The Atzei Chaim was his Shever, the Sigit Rav. And I think that the Kloisenberg Rebbe was 16 years old. And he corresponds with his Shever as a chosn. And the tshuva is Lechasni Hayoko Yekusil Yehuda. I think by mistake it's I need to check that. I haven't seen it for 100 years. But I think in Tshuva Satzachaim by mistake it's written Teitelbaum instead of Halbishtam. But it's very clear whom he means because he writes Chasni. And the Kloisenberg Rebbe has a whole pilpul there, and he understood as a chosn, as a young pepper, that the bitl is botel mafreya. But it is very clear that there is no such a thing to be mevatel bitul lemafreya. But what Rabbeinu Ovadia means to say, bittul is because it has no chashivas in his eyes. But once he regrets that, and it does have chashivas in his eyes, then from this moment then on, he is over in Bal Yeroa, in Bal Yemotza. And that is why Chazal were machayev not to rely on the bittul, but also Bedika, and get rid of all the chametz you're aware of. There's always the option of selling to a goy. And if it's not yours, then it's not yours. But the reason Chazal didn't rely on bittul is because he might regret that bittul, and the moment he regrets that bittul, then mekan ulahabo, he is over on Bal Yeroa v'Bal Yemotza. So we have three different drochim to b'miyashav shittas Rashi. First derech is daran. All Rashi means is, originally, there are two ways to escape Bal Yeroa, Bal Yemotza, either Bedika or Bittul. Derech number two. The reason Chazal were Machayev Bedika, most of the Shonim say, Shema Yavalecha. But Daran, Alibid Rashi says, no. Shema lo Yavatel Belev Shalem. And therefore the Bedika directly is Shelo Yava B'Bal Yeroa B'Bal Yemotza. Rabbeinu Yosin, Rabbeinu Ovadia, Tosis Yomtev, he might regret the bittul. And therefore, Mekan V'Lahaba, he would be over on Bal Yeroa, Bal Yemotza. So these are three different explanations and approaches in Divrei Rashi, Shelo Yava, Bal Yeroa, Bal Yemotza. And after these three different approaches, I want to say approach number 4, which would be my interpretation in Rashi. And I think the kavanah of Rashi is, maybe Rashi agrees with Tosis, because that is the opinion of most of the Shoyim, that the reason Chazal were metakim Bedikas Chametz is Shelo Yovel Echal, as Tosis explains in great length at the first Tosis, because Lo Yibodil Minei, on one hand, Chametz is the harshest of all Macholas Asuris. It is not the only Macholas Asuris that is Koris, but Chaylev, Dam, Chametz are Koris, and Lo Yibodil Minei, because the person is accustomed all year round to eat Chametz, and therefore there's a greater Chashash Shema Yover Lechor. And maybe Rashi would agree to that approach. But the question is, how do we define Chiyuv Bedika? Do we say that Habadik Tzorach Shiavatel? So Bedika has nothing to do with Bal Yeroa, and that is Shittas HaTosos. Bedika has nothing to do with Bal Yeroa. We steer clear from Bal Yeroa Alidei Bitul. Habadik Tzorach Shiavatel. So Bedika is only about Shelo Yover Lechor. Or maybe would we say, because of the Chashash Shema Yover Lechor, Chazal were metaken that Bitul in itself doesn't work, and you cannot rely on Bitul. And even if you were mevatel, you're still over on Bal Yeroa Midirabonon. Chazal were metaken, no. Bitul is void. Bitul is invalid. Doesn't work. And Midirabonon, if you weren't Beidik, you're over on Bal Yeroa and Bal Yemotza. If you do mit Beis, the Maharshal and Chach Mishloim. So most of the Marshal stuff in Chach Mishloim are Tikkun Loshoim. So not everybody appreciates the Marshal. We all know the Marshal from his Chuvas, we know the Marshal from Yam Shel Shloimim. So the Marshal and Toisves, Daf Yudah mit Beis. Why did Rashi give this strange pshat? B'torch hamoed, la'achar hamoed, everything is Erev Pesach, and not according to Tosis. B'torch hamoed is Shivas Yamei Pesach, la'achar hamoed is after Pesach. So Tosis says, Rashi l'shitosoi, shelo yava b'Bal Yeroa b'Bal Yemotza. V'yafal pi dehocha bal kocha chayra b'bitloi. The Eloi bitloi, וכי משום גזירה דשם יחלנה יהי אויבה בבל ירוב ובבל ימוצא דעכשיו אין שרק לבטלו ליחד איסורי. מכל מוקם תחילס התקונה שעשו חכמים שצורך לבדוק, היינו משום בל ירוע. כדפרש רש"י ברש מחילתם. ולא ירוצו חכמים לסמך על הביט הלכות כמו שפרש התוספות שם. ומשמוך אין שייך בדיקה אלא במקום ששייך לעבור, בבל ירוע ובבל ימוצא, הם לא ביטלוי. אבל לא התקינו בדיקה משמכילה לבד ודויק. So the Mashal asks, what does Tosfos say? Tosfos says, the Achar HaMoed, according to Rashi, no longer shaykh Bedikas Chametz, because Bedikas Kadei Shalo Yavar. But the Mashal says, but the Boydek Tzorach Shiavatel. So in practicality, Bedika is not Shalo Yavar Babal Yaro, it is Shem Yovel Echol. So the Mashal says, yes, even according to Rashi, it's Shem Yovel Echol. But if not, it's Shaykh Bal Yeroah, Chazal wouldn't be metaken just because of Shem Yovel Echol. And that is why La'achar Pesach, there is an Isser Achila, but Isser Achila in itself, it's not sufficient to be Machayev Bedika. What does he mean? Tchilas HaTakona, She'osu Chachomim She'tzorech Livdok Hayne Mishum Bal Yeruah. What does he mean? Tchilas HaTakona Mishum Bal Yeruah, even according to the Ran. Men HaToretz Mishum Bal Yeruah. Tchilas HaTakona She'tiknu Chachomim She'tzorech Livdok is Mishum Bal Yeruah.
Does Tosfos say the second reason why they were sacking Bedika Shami Alach is because we find the Chaymer of Vladimir Matzah?
Is that what the Mashal means? No. Because Tosfos explains Rashi. But Tosfos is Choylek on Rashi, Daf Yudam and Beis. And Tosfos says, no. La'achar HaMoed means La'achar HaPesach. Tosfos the Shitosai, Shem Yevalechem. But you ask a very good question. If the entire tikkun of Bedikas is Mishum Isakoras, there is no Isakoras La'achar HaPesach. It's Meren Issa D'Rabbanan. So why would there be a Chi of Bedika? So Tzorach Loim and Adivra Tosfos, yes. Tchilas HaTakona Shetzorach Livdoik is Mishum Chunas HaChametz. But once they were metaken Shetzorach Livdoik Chametz, it's even...
Tosfos says even according to the second reason, it goes even on Chametz Nukshan.
Yes.
Another thing you see.
Yes.
It doesn't
So you see that in the first Tosfos as well, not only Daf Yudam and Beis. So this, once again, is a problem. So what is the Mashal saying? Because if Rashi agrees on Shem Yovel Echol, so why would it be different than Tosfos? Tosfos says it's because it's a chorus, but once they were metaken Chiv Bedika, it's even Le'achar HaPesach when they're no longer is an Issachor, so why wouldn't we say the same according to Rashi? So I think Shulchan Aruch HaRav is a big chiddush. Could I have Shulchan Aruch HaRav in Hilchos Pesach? Tov Lamed Hey Siyud Daled. Shulchan Aruch HaRav is a big chiddush. And he says if a person relied on bittul and he didn't do bedika, he's oiva and bal yeroah v'bal yemotza d'Rabbanan. He's not only oiva on a bittul mitzvahs chachamim, bittul mitzvahs asay d'Rabbanan. He's oiva and bal yeroah d'Rabbanan. So Shulchan Aruch HaRav deals with Bedikas Chametz La'achar HaPesach. Shulchan Aruch paskins in accordance to Tosfos that if we didn't do Bedikas Chametz Erev Pesach, we didn't do Bedikas Chametz B'torch Yemei Pesach, you need to do Bedikas Chametz La'achar HaPesach. But Shulchan Aruch HaRav says we definitely don't make a broch. Why not? It's a mitzvah d'Rabbanan. But Asher Kedeshonu b'mitzvos v'tzivonu al bi'ar Chametz must be associated with Bal Yeroah and Bal Yemotza, with Tashbisu. La'achar Yemei HaChag, there is no Tashbisu, there is no Bal Yeroah. It's a Chiyuv d'Rabbanan, but you can't say the brocha. So why could you say a brocha b'torch Yemei HaChag? Or even Erev Yom Tov if you do bittul? Well, Erev Yom Tov it's not a kasha, because we do the bedika before we do the bittul. We do the bittul la'achar biyur Chametz. But b'toichem me'achag, you were already mevatel. So how could you say a brocha? Shulchan Aruch differentiates between Bedikas Chametz b'toichem me'achag, even though we did bittul, and Bedikas Chametz la'achar achag. And he says Bedikas Chametz b'toichem me'achag is mishum bal yeroah. We did bittul, but it's bal yeroah derabbanan. And that's a big chiddush. So the takana of Bedikas Chametz is not disassociated with the Bal Yeroah Bal Yamotza. It is not a totally new chiyuv of Bedika, which is totally Shema Yover Lechor. No, the takana was we should give preference to Bedika upon Bittul. And Chachamim were Ke'ilu invalidated Bittul as a means of preventing Bal Yeroah v'Bal Yamotza. So min Torah, yes, there could be no Bal Yeroah Bal Yamotza when he did Bittul Chametz. But midrabanan, one cannot rely on Bittul, and therefore there's a chiyuv Bal Yeroah derabanan. And I think that is the most reasonable pshat in Rashi, based on Shulchan Aruch, and I think that is the way we need to explain the Marshal as well. So Rashi maintains that the Tkonos Chachamim was not merely to do Bedika on top of Bittul, Shelo Yover Lechol, but the Takona was to invalidate Bittul Chametz as a means of avoiding Bal Yeroah and Bal Yamotza.
According to Shulchan Aruch, it's only the Rabbanim, he's over on Bal Yeroah Bal Yamotza. And Chametz Avar Olav Pesach, the Shtei Rabbanim. Is that Isser Achar Pesach? The Tia Shulchan Aruch? It's Chametz Avar Olav Pesach?
What?
That was also B'Pesach with the Rabbanim. That's Shtei Rabbanim. Is that Shtei Rabbanim or it's not Shtei Rabbanim?
You ask if a person was mevatel Chametz and he didn't do Bedikas Chametz, would there still be an Isser Chametz She'over Olav Pesach? To the best of my memory, that's a machlokes that the Mishnah Berurah brings. If a person didn't do Bedika, only Bitul, whether he is over on Bal Yeroah and Bal Yamotza. I think it is a machlokes maybe in the earlier poskim even. But I don't think it has anything to do with Trei D'Rabbanan.
But that's a din d'oraisa when the Shulchan Aruch.
It cannot be a din d'oraisa.
As a tokef d'oraisa, the way we deal with it.
No, it's a D'Rabbanan. But the point is, it's a Bal Yeroah D'Rabbanan. It's not a mitzvah into itself, a mitzvah D'Rabbanan of Bedikas Chametz. It's Bal Yeroah D'Rabbanan. And that is the way the Shulchan Aruch explains there's a difference between Bedikas Chametz b'toichem me'achag, because b'toichem me'achag there's an issur of Bal Yeroah. So there's an issur of Bal Yeroah D'Rabbanan. And that's why a person could make a brocha. La'achar yemechag. If there's no Bal Yeroah d'Oraisa, there could be no Bal Yeroah d'Rabbanan. So la'achar yemechag, it's a takona b'yalma. We don't say a brocha on a takona, but we do say a brocha on Bedikas Chametz b'toichem me'achag because it's a Bal Yeroah d'Rabbanan. And I think that would also be pshat in the Maharshal. So let us say this. Lamaisa, Rashi says there is no chiyuv bedika la'achar yemei achag. Because, according to Rashi, when Chachamim said you need to do Bedika, the takana was that Bittul is insufficient. And there still is a Bal Yeroah D'Rabbanan. That's not shaykh to say La'achar Me'achad. Tosfos maintains, no, the Chiyuv Bedika, Shema Yover Lechol, is like a takana b'fnei atzmoi. There is no Bal Yeroah, neither min Torah nor min D'Rabbanan. Because when the Gemara says Bebitul Ba'al Mesagi, then Bitul Chametz takes away Bal Yeroah. And there is no Bal Yeroah. And there's no such a thing as a Bal Yeroah D'Rabbanan, according to Tosfos. But Rashi says, no. And the essence and the oimek of Divrei Rashi is, just like Minat Torah, Bitul is a tool against Bal Yeroah v'Bal Yamotza, like the Ran explains, either Bitul or Bedika. So the mahus of the takana of Bedikas Chametz is, do not rely on bittul. You have no right to rely on bittul, and bittul is not enough to take away the chashash bal yaroa u bal yamotz. This brings me back to two shiurim I said recently. One of the shiurim I gave Chol HaMoed is, when a person performs a mitzvah d'oraisa shelo al pi chachamim, do chachamim have the authority, the ability to say, what you did is totally void, totally invalid, even min haTorah? Or no, you have a mitzvah d'oraisa, but that is not enough. You need to observe our dinam as well. So we're dealing about a bal yaroa midrabanan, but nobody even considers arguing that when chachamim say you need to do bedika and you relied on bittul, then you're oivan bal yaroa bal yamotza min haTorah, because chachamim said you should not rely on bittul into itself. Maybe this is different than performing a mitzvahs asay in the conditions and in the mode that chachamim were metak. We're not dealing with a mitzvahs asay, but rather with the emtsoim and the tools, how to steer clear and to avoid being oiva on a d'oraisa. So maybe here everybody would agree that chachamim can't invalidate the din of bittul chametz, which is a din d'oraisa.
Even Ran's formulation is tashbisut, so maybe it is a mitzvah asay.
Okay. Yeah, according to the Ran, primarily Rashi and the Rambam, that bittul chametz is a mitzvah of tashbisu. Maybe one could argue that chachamim do have the authority to say you can't rely on bittul. And especially, as I explained, when the takana is based on the harchik as odom minu avera, Chazal do say, we intervene and say, even min haTorah, you weren't mekayim anything. So, yes, this would be an interesting argument. But the Ran even in Lo Kiyamtem Mitzvah Sukkah Miyamechu rejects Tosfos. The Ran both in Sukkah Daf Ches and in Pesachim Kuf Tes. So the Ran would be irrelevant, and maybe Tosfos would say differently. But Tosfos has a totally different approach. And according to Tosfos, it is a new takana of Shema Yovei Lecha. So Tosfos deals, why is it only by Chametz that Chazal were metaken a chiyuv of bedika and biur? And in Minchas Osher Siman Beis, I dealt, what does Tosfos mean? There are many Isura Hanoah in which there is a chiyuv biur. And Chametz is not unique. Kol HaNisrofim, the last Mishnah in Masechet Tmura. So many achronim, the Chassam Sofer, the Netziv, the Sfas Emes, many achronim are amazed by Tosfos' question. Tosfos asks, why is it only by Chametz that Chazal were metaken, Bedika and Biur, and not by any other Isura Noah? So Tosfos says two reasons, twofold. Chumras Isakoris and Loi Bodel Minei. How about other Isura Noah? Shedinam B'Sleifa. If Tosfos' question is, but by others we don't find Bedika, the answer is so simple. Because Chametz is the only one which is a heter all year round, and it's a Isser only in 7 days a year. So we definitely need Bedika. But Orla or Kirei HaKerem or Bosa B'Cholav, which is an Isser all year round, when exactly do we know, would we suggest doing Bedika? Person doesn't have any Orla at home because it's an Isser all year round. Does anybody recall that we spoke about this lately? Yeah, regarding Challah. Regarding the Chiyuv of Sleifas Challah. And my husband and Tosfos was Sleifa by all other Isur Noah is a mitzvah, not a Chiyuv. And that is Pshat and Tosfos and all the other Rishonim that ask the question, why do we find a Chiyuv Biur only by Chametz? So, and I brought the Tshuvas Chassam Sofer that says, all the other Nisrofin, there's a mitzvah, but not a Chiyuv. Only Chametz and Avodah Zorah are the only two Isur I know. In other words, there's a chiyuv beer, a chiyuv to destroy, a chiyuv to eradicate and to destroy, and that is the question of Tosis, and that was my yishuv and minig oilam that we throw away challah and we did not necessarily burn challah, and I'm happy that you remember what we spoke about some time ago. So, Tamtzis Advorim, this is a new Hagdorah, the Bihu Shittas Rashi, and I think according to the Mashal and Shulchan Aruch Harav, that would be the most reasonable Hesber of Divrei Rashi, who says, Boit Kinas HaChometz, Kedei Shelo Yavor, B'Bal Yeron, B'Bal Yemotza. The Takana was, Mishum Shem Yovelechol, but the Hagdorah is, Boitkin, Kedei Shelo Yavor. And if a person does not do Bedika, he is over, and B'Bal Yeron, B'Bal Yemotza, Midrabanon. So this is basically what I have to say. I think it's very important that we do some additional iyun and chakira in the Ran about Samchen al Chazokas. I don't think he means oines. I think he means a big chiddush that by Dinei Torah, Kodesh Baruch Hu expects us to do what a human being can do with his limited chushim that Kodesh Baruch Hu gave him, and if he does all he could do, then it's not only a ptur of oinus, he's not oiver.
Or Gadol, they all bring the Or Gadol of Pirush and Mishnah is to me on the Ran. Brings some call to Kula, even if you're Semech and Chazaka, but Nimtzal Mafrei that you're over this, so you have the Aveir, maybe it's oinus, maybe it's Mesasik. Someone's boiling Isha, Shlo B'Shas Vesta. The Yehuda says you don't need a kapara, you just boil and eat it. Same as Chazak, boil and eat it. He ate Taimayim, he's Tamei on the Ran.
Yeah, the way I understand it, it has nothing to do with Bo'alani de Ba'oinus.
Is it something unique to buy your other Ram?
I think the Ran is only when it is something that we need to do. So, Ishtoi v'choyse b'bayis. He had no reason to be choishish. But it's not shaykh to say Samchet Torah al Chazokas. That is oinus. Maybe Mesasik. Mesasik b'chalom v'arois chayiv shekeinena. So the Makor Chaim, and you will familiarize yourself with the Makor Chaim, is a Gevaldige Sefer. You know, the Nasiris is Gevaldig everywhere. So the Makor Chaim asks, why Bechlal is there a need for Bedikas Chametz? If a person doesn't know he has Chametz, then he's a Mesasik. A Dov Hashem Eschaben. Dov Hashem Eschaben Mutar. So the Makor Chaim asks, why is a person Bechlal Oiver on Chametz She'ein Yadua? He has no intention, and why wouldn't there be a Ptur of Mesasik? And the Makor Chaim says a very fundamental chiddush, and he says Mesasik is only be'esurim she'odem Oiver alidei Ma'isa. So when you do something without kavana, that mais is totally void. It is not defined as maseh ha'odam. But on a veda that you're over b'sheva al taisa, there is no tool of misasik. And I think that is very misyashav alev. But he deals with the question of misasik. Why is a person b'chlal oivo? But he doesn't deal with the question after bedika. The Ran says if you were boided, then you're potter, and the Ran definitely doesn't mean misasik. The Ran means Samchet Torah Chazokas. So why would that be different than every oinus? You know, if a person ate nevela and he thought he's eating kosher, or boil achoisoi v'roy al ishtoi. The reason I spoke about Teloim, because the only Yisur I could think of which is similar to Chametz, is Bedikas Teloim. The svara of Samchet Torah Chazokas is, what does the Torah expect me to do? To be binding. And that is what I did. The Torah doesn't expect me to check out whether this is my wife. There is, you know, you assume under normal circumstances that this is her. But by Bal Yero and Bal Yemotza, what is a person supposed to do? He shouldn't be over in Bal Yero and Bal Yemotza. He had Chametz in his house all year round, so he needs to be baidik. And that is the same with Yerokas. We know that vegetables and fruits have insects. So what is he supposed to do? If not Bedikas. And that is what we mean, Samchet Torah L'Chazos. So the Orgul asks a question. It's a very relevant question. But that is the way I understand the Ran. So the question would be, would that apply to Teloim as well? Because I don't recall anybody that applies the Ran also to the din of Teloim. So this is one of the sugyas that we need to examine.